Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to look at something I think is really practical, which is that whole experience of, the very first week in a totally new city.
Right.
And specifically how we start expressing ourselves in English during that time. We've got some good examples of those early chats.
Yeah, things like quick greetings, asking for help, maybe sharing those first kind of messy impressions.
Exactly. So we're planning to explore, I think, three pretty common scenarios someone new might run into.
Mm,
First, just a really short, friendly introduction. Then maybe asking for directions, some local info.
the essentials.
Totally. And finally, a bit more of a story, someone reflecting on those first few days.
And each one is, well, it's a great chance to really listen to the rhythm, the pronunciation, how phrases just sound natural in English.
It's so true, because getting your bearings in a new place, it really does depend a lot on those first few conversations, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Being able to communicate, even just simply, it makes such a difference. You start to feel a bit more, well, settled.
Yeah, less adrift. So the examples, they're like little snapshots of taking those first steps.
Exactly. So let's dive into that first one, the short intro. Imagine like you meet someone in the hallway of your new apartment building.
Okay.
Might sound, something like this. Hi there, I'm Alex, your new neighbor in apartment 3B.
Yeah.
If you ever need anything, just knock on my door.
Okay. Right away, what strikes me is it's short, but there's a lot packed in there feeling wise. That hi there, specifically, it doesn't just sound flat, it feels, well, welcoming.
That's great observation.
Yeah.
It's often about the intonation, isn't it? In English, greetings like hi there often have this kind of uh, rising and then slightly falling pitch.
Oh,
The
okay.
rise can signal openness like, I'm friendly. And the little fall at the end makes it sound approachable, sort of inviting a response.
It makes a lot of sense. Like the voice itself is opening the door a crack. And then when they say, I'm Alex, your new neighbor, it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like chopped up words.
You're right on that. That's what we often call connected speech. The sounds just naturally blend. Listen again. I'm Alex, your new neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
The M in I'm just flows right into Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the air in your might subtly link to the N in new. It depends on the speaker. But this blending is key for that smooth, natural sound.
Right. It avoids sounding robotic.
Precisely.
So for you listening, this is a really good chance to tune into that flow. Try saying it out loud. Hi there.
Yeah.
Feel that up and down. And then I'm Alex, your new neighbor. Hear how it glides.
Exactly. Yeah, just mimicking these little bits. It's actually really effective practice. It helps train your mouth and your ear.
Okay, let's move on. Scenario 2. Asking for directions and maybe some local tips.
Right, the slightly more complex interaction. Picture this. Excuse me, could you tell me where the closest grocery store is? I just moved
Yeah.
here like 3 days ago and I haven't really explored yet. Oh, and also, is there a bus that goes downtown or should I maybe take the subway?
Okay, definitely more going on there. What jumps out to you in how this person asks?
Well, one thing is how they structure it. They break it down, right? First, the grocery store question. Clear. Then they use also to signal, okay, here comes part two about the transport.
Uh-huh. That's smart. Makes it easier for the other person to follow along.
Definitely. It avoids overwhelming them. And notice the emphasis. Did you hear how certain words kind of pop?
Yeah, like closest grocery store. That really stood out.
Exactly. In English, we tend to stress the words carrying the most important information. Closest and grocery are key here. That's what the person needs to know.
It flags the core of the question.
Precisely. Same for the second part. Bus that goes downtown. You'd likely stress bus and downtown to make the options clear.
It's like using your voice as a highlighter pen. And the politeness factor, too, starting with, excuse me.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Starting with excuse me or could you or sorry to bother you, but it just sets a respectful tone, especially with strangers. Makes people much more inclined to help you out.
Good point.
So again, for you listening, maybe try breaking this one down too. Practice just the grocery store bit. Focus on hitting closest in grocery. Then try the transport question, emphasizing bus and downtown or maybe subway.
Feel the rhythm of the stress.
Exactly. Feel where the emphasis naturally falls.
Okay, great. Now for our last example. This one's a bit longer, giving us more of a feel for that whole first week experience.
Right, a little narrative. Let's listen. My first week in Riverside City has been, well, a whirlwind of small victories and minor mishaps. On Monday, I unpacked boxes till midnight, frantically searching for a missing phone charger that finally turned up in a shoe. Tuesday morning, oh boy, I took the wrong train, ended up 2 stops past my office, and just had to laugh at myself walking back in the pouring rain. By Wednesday, though, I discovered this really cozy cafe on Maple Street where the barista actually remembered my name after just one visit. Thursday evening, my upstairs neighbor invited me to a community potluck, and I tasted this homemade chili that nearly set my mouth on fire. Seriously hot. Friday was probably the best day yet. I found a quiet park with a view of the river and just spent an hour reading on a sunny bench. Moving is exhausting, honestly, but each small connection, a friendly stranger giving directions, that warm cup of coffee, makes the unfamiliar feel just a little bit more like home.
Wow, okay. You can really picture that week, can't you? The ups and downs.
Definitely. And notice the structure again. They use time markers on Monday, Tuesday morning, by Wednesday. It really helps us follow the story chronologically.
Yeah, it anchors you in the timeline, and you can almost hear the different feelings, right? The charger frustration, the kind of amused resignation about the train, the warmth about the cafe.
Yes, the tone shifts,
Uh-huh.
and it becomes more reflective towards the end when they summarize. Also, listen for the stress within longer words, like come MUA or exhausting or unfamiliar.
Ah, the syllable stress.
Right. How we stress different parts of a word is a huge part of the overall rhythm of English. It's not just about stressing words in a sentence, but syllables within words.
That adds another layer. So, for someone practicing with this longer piece,
Maybe don't try to swallow it whole at first. Focus on just a sentence or two. Take the bit about Tuesday morning, maybe, or finding the cafe. Try to mimic not just the words, but the rise and fall, the rhythm, the stress patterns the speaker uses.
and really listening for the music of it.
Exactly. Listen for the music.
So, okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, we've kind of walked through those initial steps in a new place. Introducing yourself, getting info, sharing those first impressions.
And through these examples, we've really tried to spotlight how crucial those different elements of spoken English are. The intonation in a simple greeting, the clarity from stressing keywords, the natural flow of a story.
It really highlights how even, small, consistent practice with these everyday kinds of things can build real confidence for speaking English out in the world.
Which brings up a really practical idea for you, the listener. Think about how you might talk about similar situations. How would you introduce yourself? Ask for directions. Describe your day. And maybe even try something called shadowing.
Shadowing. Tell us about that.
Sure. It's basically listening to a native speaker, could be from a recording like this or TV or someone you know, and trying to repeat what they say as they say it, or just slightly after.
Ah, like mimicking in real time.
Exactly. The goal isn't just repeating words, it's matching their pronunciation, their rhythm, their intonation, their music, as you put it.
That sounds like a fantastic, really active way to practice. You're not just passively listening.
Right. It really engages your speaking muscles and your listening skills simultaneously.
That's a great tip because really at the end of the day, being able to communicate, to connect with people in English, that's what helps turn a new, unfamiliar place into somewhere that starts to feel like home, isn't it?
It really is. The language is that bridge.
Definitely something to mull over as you go about your day. Maybe even try shadowing this conversation.